Diolch yn fawr am y gyhoeddiad. Dwi yn mynd i siarad yn Saesneg. Fi'n teimlo bach yn fwy gyfforddus yn siarad Saesneg am sy'n neud rhywbeth fel hyn. The title is Llanddewi Brevi to Clarkson's farm. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I've got from Llanddewi Brevi to Clarkson's farm. I'm going to put a bit of emphasis on diversification. I'm going to pass my experiences of diversification I've seen in my work, and then at the end I will mention a little bit about the farm. So I'm going to talk about what we've done on our farm, Ochogarth. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about diversification in the veterinary industry and what's going on there. Then I'm going to talk about what some of our clients have done and others, and then I'm going to sort of mention Jeremy Clarkson. A little bit of a disclaimer at the bottom. I've been asked to put a disclaimer. These are purely my opinions. I have had some pictures from the programme, which are going to be up there, but these are my opinion and my experiences. I had a bit of a giggle about this. No sausages were left in this van overnight. So I'm from Llanddewi. Llanddewi is famous for three things, really. One is St David came to Llanddewi to talk, and nobody could hear him because there's such a big crowd. And a child put a handkerchief underneath him, and the land raised from underneath his feet. And the church is actually built on that hill today. In that picture as well, this picture was taken, there's a drawing done in the 19th century. You can see the oxes there. The oxes were bringing the stone to build the church with, and they were being worked so hard that one of them, just as it was dying, bellowed really loudly and split Craig of Oilallt. Craig of Oilallt is that cliff on the back there. The other thing Llanddewi is famous for is Operation Julie. So that was back in the 70s. There was a big factory in Llanddewi and in Tregaron, and basically they were doing LSD, and this is a poster for a musical in Aberystwyth last summer. Apparently the price of LSD tablets went from £1 to £5 after the drugs bust. And the other thing Llanddewi is famous for is David. David can't spell his own name. He also can't spell Llanddewi Brevi from the looks of it. He insists on putting double Fs and one D instead of one F and double D. So I was brought up on a farm, Ochogarth, 60-acre farm. My mum and dad went there as bailiffs to start off with, working for a landlord, and we had 12 cows. And the cows are in the cow shed. So basically 12 cows being milked using a bucket and vacuum, and the milk was poured down onto a grill with water to cool it down. The milk is to go to Ponllanio. Ponllanio, there was a dairy there about a mile away, and we used to have the milk train. I used to take the milk away from there. Beeching got rid of the milk train, and we eventually had to stop putting milk in churns. So we had 8 sows as well, and we used to grow some hay. So as time went on, we basically extended the parlour. We ended up with 29 cows. 29 is a funny figure, but that's how the building happened, basically. We ran out of space for the 30th cubicle. We gave up growing barley. We still have the 8 sows. So things have changed in that period of time, literally by increasing the amount of things we could do with the land that we could do. So Daddy started to go to evening classes, and in Felivach, they don't do evening classes in Felivach anymore, and he learned to do some welding. And so he ended up doing metal work, and he could do his own fixing things on the farm. And then over a period of time, he ended up doing work for his neighbours, and he got some contracts from the council, building a bridge and also re-equipping the MAT premises in Tregaron. So, yeah, is that working? Yes. The difference is, this is on a different view, so that's the farmhouse here. But yeah, the cow shed has now gone bigger. We've extended the hay barn. We didn't do silage because we couldn't do a silage pit at that stage. They've built some more sheds. That's Daddy's workshop. These all bits and bobs down here is where Daddy used to buy trailers and things second hand and then fix them and sell them as cattle trailers or something along that lines. Interestingly enough, there is a train carriage, insulated train carriage that was used to transport bananas, and that was actually quite handy for sows farrowing in there. You can see the sows in the field with the pig axe. So as Daddy got older, he started doing a bit of contracting. He bought himself a big baler, and over a period of time that sort of took over because he was getting a bit stiff and old, and he was finding the metal work a bit quite hard work. So he was doing contracting, mowing, baling, hedge cutting. So basically, he sort of diversified without even trying. It just, these things happened really. So I'm going to speak a bit now what's happened in the veterinary industry. When I qualified, it was quite common for vets to qualify as mixed vets. So they do large and small animals. We do a bit of this and a bit of that. I worked in Llandewi to start off with. And basically, there's quite a bit of dairy, beef, sheep, pigs, and cats and dogs. But what's happened over a period of time is that there's been more specialisation. So you will now get large and small animal vets, and then you'd also get specialisation within that. So you have cattle vets, you have poultry vets, you have pig vets, and there are even a few feline vets, because they only do cats. So yeah, so basically over a period of time as well, we've moved, especially in the cattle industry, we've moved away from doing the firefighting stuff. So you'd call us out for a lame cow or a sick calf, and we've moved round about when I qualified. We started doing more fertility work, so more routine work, so we turn up on the farms more often. And we've now moved away from that again, in that we're doing things like making sure you comply with all the legislation that you're doing. So the work has changed. There's less and less farmers around, and the consequence of that is that you guys are getting harder to be vets for, because you know more, farmers know more than we do. So it's actually becoming more, there's more pressure on the vets, especially new graduates when they join the industry. So basically what's done is that there's now less and less vets that are doing just large animal work. And all I would say to you on that front is, if you don't use us, you will lose us. And so look after your suppliers. So whether that's your vet, your chemicals, your tractor, your whatever, your feed manufacturer, you've got, if you don't buy stuff from them, they are going to go away. So now I'm going to talk about diversification of some of our clients. This is Northmore Meat Company. He's actually one of our clients in Llandewi. The guy on the right there is James Florey. He was actually on Series 2 of Clarkson's farm. He was hoping to supply beef for the restaurant that was being grown. And that's his mother and father there, James and Anne-Marie. And his wife is also busy with the business as well. So they do boxed meat. So they sell meat direct off the farm. They've got ruby red uh, Devon cattle, and what they're doing is that they're basically online, they're taking orders online and then getting the stuff delivered to you. Interestingly enough, their busiest time of the year is Christmas, because they get lots of people who've got relatives abroad ordering meat as Christmas presents for people in this country. So they would have to slaughter some extra cattle come November, December. He has actually scaled this down. He's had problems with TB, so he's lost quite a few cattle to TB. The other thing he does is dog exercise. So he's got a paddock that he's basically put a six-foot fence around and put some toys, things for the dogs to run around. He's got a sand pit, he's got some logs, he's got tyres like that. And for £10 you can put a dog in there for an hour and let it run loose basically. So if you've got a dog that goes chasing after prey or is not particularly friendly with other dogs, then it's quite a good way of giving him exercise. His latest venture is he's got a campsite. He's just starting on that campsite. He's got a compost toilet, so it's a pretty down-to-earth type of campsite. He's had a pretty good summer actually. And the other thing he does is sells Christmas trees. He buys his Christmas trees in and then he sells them. We did have another client that actually tried growing Christmas trees and he was really struggling. He packed in after a couple of years. But he buys Christmas trees in. His busiest weekend was the second weekend in November. So it's a good job with a non-drop really. Another example of farm diversification. That picture is actually taken from Google Maps. We were on holiday up in the Yorkshire Dales, and on a rainy day, we were driving. We decided to spend the morning at the Wensleydale factory in Hawes, and on the way back, we saw signs for cakes for sale. So we pulled up at the yard, pulled up at the front there. As we pulled up, the housewife opened the front door and says, "Come on in, what do you want?" So I walked into the kitchen and it was raining and the husband and two sons were watching Bargain Hunt, and so she cooks cakes and basically sells them on the side of the road. So we had a lemon drizzle cake, lovely, and it was piping hot actually. So we actually went back a day later and got another cake, but my wife is gluten-free and we said to her, "Do you do gluten-free?" So off she goes into the pantry, so has a look in there. "Yeah, I've got gluten-free bread, come back tomorrow, gluten-free flour, come back tomorrow and we'll have a cake for her." And so she did a Victoria sponge. So that works because she's got punters, she's got people to sell to. It's on the road between Hawes and Ribblehead Viaduct, so there's quite a bit of traffic going past, but she got 3 cakes out of us. So this picture, I have to give credit to Sam Rose for this picture, but I was listening to Desert Island Discs and Isabella Tree was on it. And Isabella Tree, they've got a 2,000-acre estate down in the southeast, and they basically took all the fences out, and so they've got cattle and deer roaming around. So serious extensification, and they're doing okay from what she was saying on Desert Island Discs. But the way they've done it is that they've got education centre, they've got visitors, school trips, and all the rest of it. Interestingly enough, for 2,000 acres, I didn't think 25 tons of meat a year was particularly good going, really. But again, not everybody can do this. You know, you've got to have a bit of a unique MO to be able to do this. So, here's our friend Jeremy Clarkson. He's got a 1,000-acre farm, and he was share farming it with his neighbour, and his neighbour retired, so he was looking for somebody to farm his land, and he decided, well, I'll make a TV program out of it. So we started filming in 2019, and the first series came out in 2021. It included the COVID problems as well. So at that stage, he had sheep, he had fish primarily, and since then he's diversified into cattle. He's got beef shorthorns there. He's diversified at the moment. We're doing series 3. He's got goats, and he's also got pigs. The pigs are Oxfordshire Sandling Black, so they're quite an extensive breed, and he's got them in a wood. The program's obviously been a bit of a success, but he's also on the horticultural side. He's growing peppers, chilies. He tried wasabi. He didn't particularly get on with wasabi, and he's made some beer out of his barley. And he's doing okay. So he's got a farm shop. That green thing at the back there, that's his farm shop. He could put 2 of them in this room. And he's had some fun and games with planning. Next to that farm shop, there was the lambing shed, and he wanted to convert that into a restaurant. He had terrible problems with planning. He didn't get it, basically. The main problem I think he had was the light pollution. Is a lean-to looking out onto the valley. Beautiful spot. Would be a fantastic place for a restaurant, actually. But they were worried about the light pollution coming from the farm, from the restaurant. Interestingly enough, I was hearing a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you've heard of Hebden goat cheese. It's a little setup up in Hebden Bridge, and they have, as a university lecturer, she had something like 9 goats, and she basically decided to make some cheese out of this. It's won loads and loads of awards. They applied for planning to increase the size of the herd up to 40, and they were turned down for the planning, and she's given up doing Hebden goat. So there's my friend Caleb, and there's the cattle. We have had some issues with TB in neighbouring farms. They did actually find TB in a badger on the farm. Caleb's done okay out of it. He's got his own farm now. He's got quite a few young stock that he's growing. I enjoy working with Caleb, actually. He's got his feet well and truly on the ground, and he does actually put Jeremy's feet back on the ground every now and again as well. So that's about it, really. So if I'm quite happy to take questions. I'm quite happy to take them in Welsh or English. Thank you.